Hi, we're gonna review the NQ futures today. So today is August 24th. I primarily trade on price and volume chart trading using Wyckoff process. And we're gonna focus primarily on the US session, where I'm gonna quickly go over the overnight session to identify any key levels. So the gray plus line, as you can see, this is my yesterday's high. You can see that YH yesterday's high. So what happened was, it as you can see, the gapped up from last Friday to this today Monday, and then it was all the way above, and then it kind of tested it. You can see that volume also came up strongly, and after that, it kind of went upwards. Like there is nothing kind of a strong down move anywhere. Yeah, it moved sideways here, but a little bit. But after that, you can see all the way, it kind of went up, 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 and you can see here. So around midnight European session, it kind of went upwards again here in a channel kind of formation. You can see that one. So we don't trade uh, any any indicators or anything like that. So we just look for, but of course we identify these structures. These are structural elements that we identify so that we can take short or long depending on that one. So, but as you can see, in Pacific time zone, so this is the US open session, but prior to that one, what happened was, you can see that one, it kind of, so the background conditions is, you can see that demand is like basically demand means buying, right? And you can see after it around for like almost 30 minutes, it went sideways, and then every time it came down, the buying is there. See the buying here, the buying here, and so here also, like when it came down, the bar closed in the middle, like the bottom portion was buying. So you can see that the demand in the background, the position. So this is the US Open. Of course, we do not buy these things just because it's going sideways. So because typically what happens is, opening bars can be wacky because a lot of people are trying to trade and we don't know which way they will go. So as you can see, it tried to go down, up and down. It kind of, but supply kind of came up a little bit. So you can see this one, but afterwards, next bar, a good demand came, pushed it above, broke the channel, and then immediately the supply came after that. Also, this is a new high. If you can see, the overnight it broke the all-time high, like basically the 52-week high, and kind of moving upward. So every high is a new high kind of thing in this session. So supply came up, and then see this 650 bar, like huge supply came up, enormous supply. We don't know what that is, like, right? So okay, strong supply came up. Okay, and then what happens afterwards? Immediately demand tried to hold that one. Couldn't hold it. Like, I mean, yeah, it could hold it, and then in fact it closed always in the middle. But of course, like, the next bar closed in the middle, supply pushing down again, but it is unable to break this one. You see, so even though it went down again, it closed in this one. So meaning that strength is coming a little bit here. Okay, so and then the next bar, it goes down, and look at the volume of all these four bars. It's a significant bar. All volume. See this bar volume. This went from here to here, but for all the three bars, next to three bars, meaning three times this volume of one bar, right? But nevertheless, what happened from here to here? If all this volume has been selling, it would have been like three times of this one, right? But it did not happen. In fact, it kind of closed. Plus, it's called as shortening of thrust. Basically, it is unable to move down. Move down. Okay, meaning that strength came up. The buying came up a little bit here, not a little bit, actually strongly came up. Okay, but it does not mean that we will buy this one, because it is not still clear, right? So it's only the reading is important at this stage. And then as it starts going up again, see this one, as it starts going up in these three bars, this bar, this bar, and this bar, see the volume declines, meaning that after some demand, buyers are able to hold it here. When it's time to push it up, they are unable to push it. The volume is declined. Somehow demand buyers are not interested. And where is it happening? At the same place where previously supply has proved themselves strongly. Basically, this is all supply area, right? You're trying to go through their territory again, and then supply is proving that, and demand is unable to push that one. And in fact, this bar kind of closed in the middle. This is an ideal place to take the shot, especially because you can see that minute reading where this close could not break this, like this swing high, and then the next bar closed in the low, and then with the declining volume, background is selling, and because of that one, you could take a shot. However, I did not take a shot because I always compare the ES and then the NQ trading. So when I did that one, this bar in NQ is ES is very strong bar, and AES can have the ability to pull it upwards. So that is the reason why I did not do that one. And then, as you can see, it started coming down. But see, when it started coming down, none of these bars are strong as these strong supply bars. See, these are strong supply bars, right? See the choppy down move, like narrow bars compared to these previous down move. So this one, as it starts coming down, it was trying to hold at the same level where previously demand was able to hold, right? So I took a long here, and nevertheless, you can see that one I failed here, and then it broke my this thing. As it started coming down, I exited it. Okay, again. So see the demand came up here. The strong demand came up here, and came under and then closed above this one. So this is where I took another long, again failed, so broke down this one. Okay, so the reason is I should have waited for a more, because of this such a strong move, right? All the strong moves, and then also the weak demand. I should have waited at least until this one to taken along. But so this is called a FOMO, like fear of missing out, as if you expect this to be the place where the target would be there, the potential trade would be there. But especially these are like magnets. The gray bars are like magnets. So like yesterday high and yesterday low, today high and today, like they are magnets. Those have more attraction compared to these local support or resistance. So it's always ideal, but again, that's fine. So as it started coming down, I drew this channel. This channel was not there yet this stage. Only as it started breaking down, I drew this channel, and when this bar happened, I took a long here. As it started holding at this level because of the channel and because of the week, we know that demand is there in spite of this long selling bar, these long selling bars. The reason why I took this is like demand has proved itself. Demand, when it's is there, like it is not like negligent demand, right? There is a strong demand, and because of those conditions, I took a long here. You can see here, even if you could not take a long, as it starts breaking down, you can take a long here. After you broke this one, this is another good place to take a long. And as you can see, it respected the channel. The next one, this is the exit point, right? This one is an exit point, and this. Okay, so again, so it starts coming down. It broke the yesterday high again, and but see this time, like it is unable. See, the volume that it broke is very little compared to this volume. See the volume on this bar when it broke the yesterday high, compared with the volume of this one. We know for sure, like this is how big money folks manipulate traders who are like especially trading on big. Most of them know this is yesterday high, and then they, as soon as it breaks, people tend to take a short, and they will just move it back immediately. And when there is no follow through after breaking this one, the background strength, right? Now the strength is what? Background strength is this one, demand buying. And when it is unable to follow through, and then it breaks immediately above the support, you can take a long here. So this is T, again another sign. See this bar? So this bar, huge volume. Basically, when sellers try to prove it, buyers came up again and pushed it up. So, but this is the first sign. See the next bar, it is unable to make that much progress. Because this is the first sign of supply. In this entire thing, this is the first good sign of supply. And you could take an exit here, given that in the reason why I exited here is like, it went above and then closed below this high. That is the reason why I exited it. So, but yeah, you can see it went sideways after a bit, and it started coming down. And when see this, and then when it started coming down, okay, see this bar has good selling, right? So it start coming down, it's sent sideways, meaning the demand weakened, and then a supply came here. Now good supply. So now the conditions are like not a strong supply, I would say that one, but a decent supply. Okay, and an average supply came up, kind of more like 51% supply and 49% demand kind of a situation. But see what happens after that. The almost 6 7 bars, like for 30 minutes, supply couldn't do anything, meaning that supply is unable to push it down. The inability to push it down, meaning that there is a fight going on between demand and supply. And so you can see this bar has like slight popping volume, meaning that buyers came up and then pushed it up, right? And so this is where it took a long. You can take a long because you have a structural thing. You have a resistance here. Touch one, another place where buyers put itself, another place where buyers put itself. So three times we have this strong touch points, right? So this is where you can take a long. And of course, you where is your target will be, as you draw this channel up, and this is where your target is, right? As you start coming up, this one. And so I drew this channel, first channel, and then of course, so this is a place where I did not take a shot because of the strong demand. The background conditions is strong demand. That is the reason I did not take a shot, even though this is a no demand bar. Why I say that one? A low volume and then a narrow bar at the resistance area. So yeah, we don't take blindly because of the background conditions. We did not take this one. So this starts coming down again. This is a kind of a choppy move. You can see this one, a little bit choppy move. I drew another channel with more inclination compared to the previous this channel versus this channel. As you can see this one, it's a little bit more inclined channel. So I drew this channel again. This time, the reason you see, when I see that it did not make as high as this previous high, so meaning higher low, right? Sorry, lower high. So in a downtrend, it's a lower high. I was expecting this to be broken now, this channel to be broken. That is the reason why I did not take a long here. Of course, I did not take short either, but the conditions are not yet clear enough for me to take a shot. So it's went up, choppy move. We don't know what's happening. Again came down. Of course, this time I'm expecting this to be broken. But look at the volume. This caught my attention. This is look at when this came up. A lot of people bought it here. Of course, because they know that this is yesterday's high, and then a lot of people bought long here. See the volume. See the volume almost 2.5 times the previous bar. So, but now the background condition, see this one, the channel, the inclination is more, and then the inclination of the down move is more, and then the inability to rally up freely and then easily moving down. See, in 4 bars it came down. Here it almost took 8 bars to go up from the same length, right? Similar length, and meaning that there is ease of movement downwards, and then the channel is moving downwards. So the background conditions is supply. So that is why we don't take long just because of that reason. So if you have been taking an indicator, right, a lot of indicators would say that, yeah, take a long here, um, um, especially with such a volume, right? And then it broke here, it broke here. See, as it started breaking this one, I took a shot. Okay, and because once it broke, I know I'm more comfortable taking it, especially. And the reason why is this: after this one I took a shot here, because what I was expecting was this: these people who are there, all of their stop losses will be somewhere around here, right? If it had been triggered, it would be a massive down. Look, if these many stop losses might have triggered, like this will be a massive down move, right? So, but no, it was not that as I expected. So it went down, and then it started coming rapidly, and then that's when I exited it, made a small profit. But I should have held it. But the reason is, I'm more conservative, and then I exited it immediately. So again, so I thought, okay, and then imagine if this would have closed above, would I have taken a long? No, I would not have taken a long, because of course one reason is background condition. Irrespective of background conditions, you see this bar, when so many people have taken a long, right? So these people, all these bars, they are waiting, they are in a loss, right? So when this starts closing above, when it start time times for the break even, see, when it came for the break even, all these people sold, pushing it down, some went for loss. And of course, because it was not rapid movements, I think a lot of people held it. And you can see this one, as it's the demand came up again here. And this is where I took it again. Once it firmly closed here above the my yesterday's high, I took a long, I put a limit order here. And then as it started this bar, when it has a full supply bar came up, I exited. So always make sure that take trades at the structure. When I say structure, like yesterday high, yesterday low, support, resistance, channel, demand line, supply line, demand line. So, and then read the background conditions. Thank you.